What does it mean to stake cryptocurrency? Back when I first got into crypto, I would see people throwing this term around and nobody would ever really explain what it was. They just made it seem like it was super complicated, so I never got into it until much later. By the time I knew what it was, I was so pissed because I missed out on so much money, and it's actually super simple. We're going to talk about what are the benefits and drawbacks of staking your coins and are they actually safe. But before we do all that, please consider leaving a like and please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay notified as soon as these videos drop. So what is staking? So first you have staking and what's called software staking. Regular staking is when you lock your coins up for a year for a fixed APR. This APR can be as low as 6.71% and I've seen it go as high as 300%. Think depositing cash into a bank, into a long-term saving account, and then after a certain period of time, getting that cash back and interest on top. The risk with this is that if your coin skyrockets, you can't sell your coins because they're locked up until the staking period is over. This means I wouldn't stake highly volatile coins or coins you suspect may be the victim of a rug pull. I would only stake coins that are in its infancy, that has a good roadmap. So by now you're probably wondering, what can you do with volatile coins? You can still stake these coins, but I would only do soft staking. Soft staking works exactly the same except that you can stop staking at any time. What this means is that whenever you see that your coin is about to go in an uptrend, you can stop staking them in case you need to sell. With soft staking you still gain interest on your coins, but if you stop staking after, let's say, a week or two, then you really wouldn't have gained anything. Staking is the process of actively participating in transaction validation on a proof-of-stake blockchain. Like I stated earlier, staking essentially works by rewarding people that choose to lock up their coins. The rules do differ in terms of how you get rewarded, but if you do have staked coins, you may be rewarded with being able to make new blocks in the blockchain, which is where the coins you are gaining comes from. Essentially, this is a way to entice more people to stake their coins to protect the viability of the blockchain. So what is proof of work and proof of stake? Essentially, they're two different ways of going about the same problem, which is trying to protect the decentralization of the network in the most efficient way possible. The main point about the blockchain is that it's decentralized, meaning no one person or government can gain control over the network. The blockchain is just a series of transactions with proof of work, where people compete to be the next to write the new block of transactions by solving an extremely complex equation that basically needs a supercomputer, which in the end becomes really resource heavy and uses up a literal ton of energy, which was what Elon Musk was talking about when he publicly dissed Bitcoin. Now, if you actually can solve this impossible equation, then you are rewarded with one or two things. The first is that you get to write the next block in the blockchain, which, let's face it, means basically nothing to the majority of us that are here to make money, and let's face it, who actually knows how to even write a block on the blockchain? I know I don't. The other reward is coins, and that's the real prize, because now you're going to have to liquidate all of them to pay for that insane power bill you now have from your computer working itself to death trying to solve that equation. Proof of work's great to keep the blockchain in good working order, but it is way too resource heavy, slow, and expensive, and honestly it's a waste of time just to make sure the network is running the way it's supposed to. Okay, so we touched base on what proof of work is and why it basically kind of sucks at the moment. So let's change gears and talk about proof of stake and why it's the future. Proof of stake is completely different from proof of work. Proof of stake doesn't take super slow energy taxing supercomputers. Instead, staking creates a contest of completely normal coin holders, so people like you and me. We can lock our coins up and we are basically automatically thrown into the contest to be able to forge the next block of the blockchain. Anyone who stakes a large amount of coins can win, and it's decided by factors such as how long your coins have been staked, but it is also a random element in there just to keep the network as fair as possible. Whoever wins gets to forge the next block in the blockchain, and as we know, if you get to that, you also get rewarded with coins, so that is a monetary incentive for people to stake their coins. What's cool about proof of stake is that everyone who stakes their coins is basically doing their part to keep the network in good order, and for much cheaper, because you are just staking coins you already have instead of using a crap ton of energy with a computer to solve an impossible equation for the price of an insane power bill. To me, proof of stake just makes more sense, and it seems to be more cost-effective and a more balanced way to support the blockchain, since anyone can participate and not just people with access to supercomputers, and not to mention it can also make cryptocurrency less volatile, as people are incentivized to invest in the platform of their choice and keep coins, which could, in turn, increase the value of the cryptocurrency overall through simple supply and demand. Of course, staking isn't as simple as just putting money into a bank account and knowing that you're going to get a 5% return after 6 months. Each coin may have different rules, different returns, and the barriers to entry for staking can be quite high depending on the coin. Also, you may have to keep your coin staked for a couple of years if you want to be the one who gets to write the next block, and a return isn't actually guaranteed right now, especially with the way our market is going right now. I mean, a couple months ago I decided to stake my ZIL for a 70% APR, and I just checked the APR on KuCoin and it's only like a 6% APR, and the value of my coins have dropped a crap ton. But I was holding ZIL long term anyway, so it isn't bothering me that much. The rate of return is also not fixed, so you actually won't know how much of the return you will get from your coins because the return diminishes with the more people that join. So now you're probably sitting here like, well, this doesn't sound good at all now. Luckily though, exchanges like Binance, Coinbase and KuCoin make it much easier for their customers to stake. If you want a video walking you through how to stake coins on these exchanges, just let me know in the comments. But essentially, they do all the blockchain stuff and then make it consumer friendly, so you don't have to put a massive amount of money on the account like you would if you were staking Ethereum directly from them. Then you'd be looking at a price entry point of about 20k, and that's with staking them for a couple of years. And you can also stake your coins for a much shorter time period, and they should give you a better idea of how much you should receive in return as well. This is where the APR I was mentioning comes into play. The exchange will tell you, hey, if you stake BNB right now, you'll get an APR of 87% interest if you stake your BNB for 1 year. If you use an exchange like Binance to stake coins, you can think of it as a staking pool. You join other people and Binance takes a small cut on top but actually enables you to stake in the first place. Staking works a bit differently depending on the DEX you use. For instance, on PancakeSwap they have staking farms and syrup pools. The staking farms require you to have 2 coins such as Cake and BNB and you get a percentage of whatever the APR was, and with syrup pools you stake 1 coin like Cake and you get a percentage on every transaction that uses Cake depending on how much Cake you put into the pool. So the larger the amount, then the bigger the cut. So even though staking isn't exactly like gaining interest from a bank, the outcome is pretty much the same. Hand over your coins and then after certain period of time, you get an increase rewards. So, should you stake your coins? Is it a good investment? In my opinion, there are many benefits to staking, including actually earning more coins without having to shell out more of your actual dollars because you stake coins you already have. But like anything crypto related, there are still risks such as potentially not knowing the rate of return you'll get, which can make the decision process a bit hard to make if you're on a very strict budget. Like I mentioned earlier, potential stakers have to take into consideration and weigh the risk of their coins being locked up for a significant period of time and having price movements fluctuate with them not being able to sell if they need to. Although with soft staking on exchanges like Binance and KuCoin make this easier with you being able to stop staking when you want. Be on the lookout for coins that have their own wallets because they usually do special staking periods that last only a couple weeks with insane interest rates, meaning you could potentially gain a year's worth APR in just a couple weeks. Please remember to subscribe for more crypto news and tutorials, and make sure you hit that bell so you can be on top on all of the latest crypto news. I'll see you guys in the next video.